Good morning, Sharon Danley here for another 2 Minute Tips Live. This week we're going to be exploring some hairstyles for, summer weather that's coming up that's, going to be humid and hot and that sort of thing. So we want fast and easy hairstyles. We're going to talk about mascara and lashes in makeup. And then I'm going to give you a #1 voice tip that no matter what you're using your voice for, whether it's to present something to a small crowd or a stadium of 10,000. That's what we're going to be talking about. Okay, so #1 on the hit parade is hairstyling, and talking about hairstyling from a standpoint of making it easy and fast and simple, yet still looking your best. Whether you have curly hair or whether you have straight hair, you want to just make it really, really simple for yourself. So one of the things that can be done, and you've heard me talk about this before, is using a scrunchie. And you can use the scrunchie at the back like a chignon, like this is here, which again, you just grab all your hair, put it into a scrunchie, use a couple of large roller pins, and you're set to go. And it can look great. Side part, center part, no part, back slick or back softly with tendrils hanging down. It's really easy. And by the way, I'm going to put the links in the live stream once it's posted for your convenience. Okay, so next up is the scrunchie used at the crown of the head. Simply pull it up. Again, same idea. You can have it soft, or if you have curly hair, like shows in this picture here, you can have it really textured looking or make it very smooth. It all depends. And you can wear the scrunchie either itself showing, or use the scrunchie as a base and have your own hair come over top of it. Just put an elastic band in for the more current look of a crown worn scrunchie. Okay, so next on our hit parade is a soft sort of Downton Abbey look. It's again, for curly hair, this is shown, or for straight hair. It's very simple, just to grab all the hair up and use one of those little clips. Let me see if I got one here. Yes. You know, these little clips that you can get in black, or I use the clear for gray hair. And just clip your hair. And you can also add a large roller pin just above it if it tends to come away a little bit, or you want it just a little bit more secure. So that's another, easy hairdo. And the thing is, when you put it up this way, when you let it down later, when it's maybe a little bit cooler, or you want it down for the evening or whatever, you don't lose any of the curls, you don't lose anything. It just, it's just a way of holding that hair up while it's really hot. Okay, and next is the side pony. This is simply done with a rope effect, where you take two pieces of hair and you cross them over until you go around to the other side and put in your little scrunchie, a little hairband, a little clip, whatever it is you want to do. And you can continue rolling it down the side or just leaving it. But it gives a nice interest for the back of the hair. And again, this can be used even for, a little special event, and you can take that pony and turn it up into a side chignon. So those are ways of what? Those are ways of styling your hair that are, they're fast, they're easy, they're fun, and they're great for curly, like I said. They're great for straight hair. And no matter what hair length you have either. If you have shorter hair, of course, there's a little bit different ways to treat it. But if you've got hair that sits on your shoulders or longer, any of these hairstyles can work very well for that. Now, I'm going to just be going through the session here, and anybody who has any questions, I'll be happy to answer them at the end. And for those who have emailed me questions, I will answer those at the end of this as well. Okay, so now we're going to move along to makeup. And the thing that I want to talk about with today for makeup is in mascaras. Now, I'm a big fan of tube mascara, and I really like the Blink. Used to be known as Kiss Me mascara. But what a tube mascara does is it when you apply it, it wraps around the individual lashes, and it really holds on well. Yet when you go to cleanse your face at night, you don't need any special cleanser or anything. They just come right off beautifully, not difficult to deal with at all. And the other thing is they wear like a waterproof mascara, which isn't something you should be wearing on a full-time basis anyway. Every now and again, fine. But what's great about waterproof mascara is when you curl your lashes beforehand and you apply the waterproof mascara or the Blink or tube mascara, after you apply it, it tends to stay up. Whereas your regular mascaras, if you don't have really thick and curly lashes to begin with, if you have curled them, they will tend to come down because the mascara, if it's not waterproof or not a tube, it tends to be a bit on the wet side until it dries, so it tends to come down. So L'Oreal has come out now with the Blink or Kiss or mascara. It's, you know, it's not cheap, but it's worth the money as far as I'm concerned. But L'Oreal has come out with a new tube mascara that has a primer at one end, which is white, and then, of course, the mascara at the other end. And it's much better priced than the Blink mascara. It has a lot of fans. They like it. And it it wears well. It comes off really easily. But for those that want more of a fuller looking lash, let's say, this new one by L'Oreal, the Fiber mascara, is getting some pretty darn good reviews, and I've talked to a couple of people who personally wear it, and they're really big fans of it because it doesn't flake or smudge or anything like that. Now, it's not a tube mascara, excuse me, but it wears like a tube mascara, and apparently when cleansing it, it has no problem. It comes off just like a tube mascara. So it seems that it's got the best of both. Plus, it has a dark primer, so you're not having to try to cover over a white primer, and that seems to be a really big feature for those who are, mascara lovers. Now, of course, that's great for people who, have long enough lashes that they can wear just a mascara and it looks great, or just enough. But for those of us who have really thin, fine lashes, or they're short, because that happens as we age, they tend to shorten up and we tend to lose some. Now, today, for this purpose, I've worn just the Blink mascara. Now, it's covered my lashes fine. And when I look up, you can see how short my lashes are. Well, when I'm wearing just a summer makeup and, I want to get out the door fast, that works really great. But for when I want to have a little bit more of a lash, of course, I wear the false lashes. Why? Because it just gives me the length that I need, gives me the drama that I need, and it brings it back with but being more natural. Now, I really like the Kiss brand of lashes, especially Sultry is one that is pretty good, and that's what I'm wearing now. And the O2s I love, and the O3s I love, but they're changing up their names. But Sultry currently is one that I really like. Now, for those that have trouble with lashes or strip lashes, you can always use a demi, and a demi is where you put the lash on, say from the center out. It's just like a half lash, or sometimes just a third of a lash. You can also take your strip lashes and cut them in half and just wear the outsides, or you can wear the individual lashes where you put on 2 or 3, or if you have a missing spot, where your lashes don't grow or something's happened, you can put just a couple or one individual lash in those areas. Excuse me again. Oh, allergies, I guess. So you've got a good variety of choices, and I'm going to put a link up for those who are interested in the false lashes or need to have a refresher on the different ways of wearing them, the different kinds, the different, strengths, so to speak, and how to choose them, how to apply them, and how to clean them. So, that would be, that'll be, as I said, posted. And if you have any questions, of course, with any of them, feel free to comment below or to email me at info@SharonDanley.com. Now, next we're going to talk about voice, because it's something that we don't pay too much attention to, and it's well, most of us, whether we're working professionals, we're stay-at-home moms, we're retired, or whatever we are, our voices are used in a variety of different ways. Now, for those that speak professionally or, are speaking in front of a crowd or a boardroom or in the classroom, or you're teaching any kind of course, or you're doing phone marketing of some kind, it's really important that your voice is used properly. How shall I say? When you think about it, the impressions that you make with people, there's both an auditory impression and a visual impression. Now, your visual impression that you make upon people within the first 7 seconds, it's 55%. But your voice or auditory channel is 45%. Now, that's a fair bit of how shall I say? It's a fair bit of impression. That's almost half. So in the first 7 seconds, people are going to be how shall I say, impressed with or not impressed with your voice, the tone of your voice, the speed with which you speak. If you have accent that needs to be adjusted for the particular area of the world that you live in, these are things that are really important. Now, there's also things to take into consideration is your pitch. As an example, if you're teaching a class of young voices or young people, let's say, what you would probably want to do is raise your voice about a half a tone, and you'd want to speak a little bit faster and kind of use a little bit of the jargon of what the young people are using these days, and like that sort of thing. So you can hear how the pitch goes up slightly and the speed gets a little bit faster. Now, if you want to speak to, say, a boardroom or business people, or maybe more predominantly men, then you're going to want to drop your pitch down a little bit, and you're going to speak with a lower and slower and more pronounced voice tone, so that your auditory impression is equalized more for the room and the people that you're speaking to. So your pitch, your volume, do you want to speak loudly or do you need to speak more softly? It all depends. Are you telling stories? And if you're telling stories or you're a primary school teacher, then you may want to use some inflection in your voice, some character, put that to your voice. And your tempo, you can either speed it up or you slow it down to make an impression. And of course, enunciation is huge. Well, it's how can I put it any clearer? It's huge. When you can't understand because your enunciation is off, that's going to make it difficult for your those listening to you and watching you to understand. So, what's the number one thing that can help people with, oops, sorry about that. Number one thing, the voice tip that I have for most people is give every letter in every word its full intended value. When you do that, you have automatic, proper pacing. You are very well understood, and you make an impression through your voice that is really positive. Now you can speed that up or do whatever you want with it, but giving every letter, and that means sounds like a diphthong. A diphthong is two vowels connected, like sound. Now, if you just say, if you don't bother pronouncing that diphthong, that OU, then it sounds like sound, when in fact it's sound. Do you hear the difference when you say sound and sound? You give every letter in that word its full intended value, and that gives people a strong impression. So when you've got your makeup, your hair, your wardrobe all going for you, and you're looking great, but you open your mouth and you talk kind of funny, you're a little bit, now I'm exaggerating just to exaggerate. Or you speak really loudly or over the top, and that's you're kind of blown back a little bit by bravado. Or you're talking so quietly that people are having to do this to hear you. When you speak fully engaged, using your diaphragm, giving every letter in every word its full intended value, you will make a wonderful auditory impression with people. Absolutely, you will. So those are the three tips for this week, and it's a short one this week, just because it's a short one. It's the wedding of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle today, wishing them all the very best. So I'm sure that most people will be watching what's going on there. But I'm going to just give our quote of note. Great makeup can't cover mean, insensitive, or hurtful words, no matter what shade of lip color one is wearing. That is for sure. So, something to keep in mind, something to think about on the back burner, and just kind of apply it to your everyday life. So again, just for remember to like, share, and subscribe. And if you're looking for playlists, it's very easy to do. In the top right-hand corner, just type in what you're looking for, or go directly to the playlist, and you'll see it at the bottom of the page, or underneath, and then just click on whichever one you want. And for those looking for a are very popular Pay It Forward Make Betters on our Going Grey and Loving It page. Please feel free to join us. It's a closed group so that we can share, no makeup and all that sort of thing privately in the comfort of our own Facebook page. So that's it for this week. I'm keeping it, like I said, short, sweet, simple, and be sure to stop in. Next week will be a video, and then the following Saturday it will be another live stream. So thank you very much for following. Mwah! We'll see you next time, and thanks for playing.